Hi, I'm Tiffany Webster, and today I'm here to talk about May's social injustice story. May was 32 years at the time, married to her husband David, who worked for his father's family computer business. Being filial is deeply ingrained in her husband's family. When they got married, they lived together with his parents as he is the only and eldest son. She stopped working when her eldest son was born, as expected of a mother and dutiful Dill to nurture her son and care for her parents' in law's needs. Then they had two more children. There are lots of social norms in a well to do Chinese family. She felt helpless that her husband was dependent on his family for her or for their livelihood, and she depended on her husband's allowance for their family's expenses. May struggled with her wishes of an ideal marriage to live on their own, have their own privacy as a married couple, and having a say of how she wanted things done. She was resentful of having to conform, to defer to his parents' expectations and all the shoulds. To be fair to them, they are very caring, loving, generous, and responsible people, she says. It was terrifying when the family business collapsed 6 years into their marriage. Thank goodness David found a job in a trading company, but his salary could only cover his own expenses and his credit card debt. She was struggling to pay the hefty household expenses of 8 people. They had 3 young kids, ages 9, 8, and 5. She decided to return to her career as a secretary. Speed up 7.5 years later, then attended a 1-year private secretary course in the evenings. She found a job immediately after her exams. She was relieved, excited, anxious about her ability to serve as a good secretary. May informed her mother-in-law that she'd be working again, and she accepted it gracefully. She could see that she wasn't happy about it, though. When she had told her father-in-law, he reacted with anger. He said, "What about your children? Who is going to take care of them? Don't burden my wife with minding your kids." She responded, "My kids are old enough to take care of themselves, and anyway, the live-in helper will help keep an eye out on them and see to their meals." She was furious for being judged as irresponsible and a bully. She felt so wronged and misunderstood. May returned to the workforce for the sake of her family. She was resentful that her husband had put her in that situation in the first place, and that he didn't speak up for her either. The hardest part of her experience was not being able to speak her truth about the situation when her father-in-law accused her of neglecting her kids and burdening his wife. She could not tell her husband's parents that their son is not able to support this whole household on his own. That she was the only one doing so far the past 4 years, despite being a homemaker. She couldn't tell them her ability to do so came from her personal stock investment. To tell them the truth would have broken their hearts because they have such high hopes and expectations of their son. It would also embarrass his parents that their daughter-in-law needs to work to support the family. She saw herself as a rebel. She did what she needed to do for her family. No one is going to save her. How else to put food on the table, a roof over her head or their heads, education for her kids, and all the other expenses. There's no such thing as face when the need of survival kicks in. The norms, culture, and tradition that we believe in and conform to won't pay the bills. 4 years later, her father-in-law called her one night and he said, "May, you are so capable. You had the foresight to work and you're supporting the family now." And she was stunned. She didn't expect to hear that from him. By then her family had moved into their own place, and her husband's work contract had ended for about 2 months. She began to tear. He finally got her to love and commit towards the family, that she was not being irresponsible, not wanting to be a strong woman. She thanked him for what he said. The heaviness of being misunderstood lifted off. She felt so relieved and happy. She salutes his humility. For a proud man to call and apologize to his daughter-in-law indirectly is truly a humbling experience. Since then, she respects them and is in a much stronger place now. Thank you.